What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Minute channel. Today we're going to be talking about something that I posted a community tab as well as a question in Twitter to answer, basically answering your questions for Persona 5 Strikers. So this is going to be the video answering those questions. Now, I didn't get a whole lot of questions, so what I did is I went online and found out some additional questions people were asking so I can answer those as well. But hopefully this can shed some light on some of your questions here. You can also drop more questions in the comment below. I'll be happy to answer this as well. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. So first of all, before we even do that, I do want to mention this. I have played Persona 5 Strikers. I played quite a bit of it, with about 40 hours of it. I did not finish the game, so I'm not going to talk anything spoilers or any of that sort as well. Let's go ahead and jump into it. So from Twitter, I have a couple of questions here. Ibizona says, this is mainly a PC version. Is it a good port, or is it like the launch of P4G, PV? If you use the Switch or PS4 controller to see, do the right props show up? So the first question is, yes, it is a good port. If you haven't heard already, this port is actually going to be a port of the PS4 version, so to speak. It's limited at 4K with 60 FPS. You cannot get that above 60 FPS. It's locked at that. But it is a good port. I did a comparison video between the three of them. My biggest thing is when you play in 4K, whether it's a PS5 version or the PS4 version Pro, or even the version of the PC, the models stretch out a little bit. Not a whole lot, but it's quite a bit of it, and it's noticeable. So just keep that in mind. But it is a pretty good port. The second part of the question is if it has issues, basically like P4G. P4G had some issues. No, as far as we know from people that had played the preview version, it looks like it's a really good port. It doesn't seem to have many major issues or anything like that. Again, the biggest thing for me is that the game is locked at 60 FPS. Some people don't like that. And the last thing is, if you use a Switch or PS4 controller, do the right props show up? Well, this game is a game that you can play in the Steam store. You guys know Steam has the appropriate things for both Xbox, Switch, and the PS4 controller. So yes, when you go and plug in your controller on the PC, it does use appropriate controllers for that. Next question is, how have the major teams changed? This is I don't know how to answer the question with spoiler stuff, but I don't think this has really changed much. The themes of friendship and the Phantom Thief motif and everything is still there. I don't think it's more of a change. Persona 5 Strikers is more of an extension. It's a true sequel to Persona 5, but it's also an extension of the game. Like, it follows that storyline moving forward. So I wouldn't say the major themes change. I think it remain the same. It's just an evolution, a change to it. That's the way I will put it. Next question from Harry Bread on Twitter says, will the Phantom Thief personas will be able to evolve or not? I don't want to answer that question. It's a spoiler kind of thing, but you do start the game with the original personas. You don't get the evolved versions from the previous game. So moving along, I do have a couple questions here from you guys in the poll here that I did. One of them is Akechi in the game? No, he's not in the game. Because of the events of Persona 5 Royal at the end of the game, his status is ambiguous. This game doesn't touch on any of that stuff. Or Persona 5, whatever game you want to play. What are the side missions, activities like, if any? So there's actually a lot of side missions and quests and activities that you can do. Similar to how the game in Persona 5 had the fan site, you also have a similar site where you get requests to do. You do a lot of different things. However, some of the quests and activities are pretty interesting. For example, one of them or some of them are things like go back and fight the boss again, things like that. That's pretty cool. I actually did that a few times to grind, basically. But overall, I will say that the game is pretty interesting. It gives you so many different kind of quests. Like, find a specific item on or find a specific persona inside, or all kinds of different stuff. It really does require you to go back to the previous jails. It does have this game play mechanic where you're continuously going back to these previous jails to kind of explore and do other things. You unlock different areas and that kind of stuff like that. So there's a lot of going back between the things. So the activities are gonna be like that. Outside of the jails, there's also the activities that you can do where you can actually go into the different areas that you're traveling. You can basically a somebody that is traveling, right? So somebody that is traveling, you get to look around, to buy stuff. Joker, for example, has a skill where he can cook. So you can go back to the trailer and cook different things like healing items or, things like coffee or curry or other items. Actually, he actually cooks quite a bit. So it's pretty cool. I actually love that. There's a lot of activities. There's a lot of things to do in the game for sure. The game is semi-open world too. So again, as you're traveling, the areas that you can visit can become a little bit larger and larger. And there's a little things you can do there here and there. But mainly the game does focus more on you going doing the Phantom Thief stuff. It's not like in Persona 5 or Persona 5 Royal where there's like activities to do. There's more like there's not a whole lot of that. It does focus more on the side missions and that kind of stuff. So next question from Craft Sketch It. He said he actually has a few questions. If I don't mind answering them. How lengthy are the jails? So the jails, it depends on the jail. I feel like the first few jails are actually longer than the rest of them. And it just depends. But for example, the first jail is about 6 hours long, and so is the second jail. And it's not just because of that, but the jail itself is teaching you the mechanics of the game. Typically how Persona 5 did it, where you had like this first dungeon that was really long, but then the other dungeons are slightly shorter than them. That's pretty much what it is here. Around how long will it take to beat them on average? So again, about 6 to 5 hours, I think, in average. Totally, you're probably gonna beat the game in about 45 to 50 hours, even 60 hours if you do the side quests and all kind of stuff like that, I think. How many they are, I don't want to actually answer how many they are, because you do travel to different areas, but there is a lot of twists again, and you don't get this twist stuff and everything. So I don't really want to answer that. But I will say you at least get one per area, and there is 6 different areas that you can visit, so there's at least 6 different dungeons. But of course, again, there's more to it, but I don't want to answer the rest of that. What are the benefits of Joker's Kitchen? What incentives does the player to keep eating, keep cooking? Do you get HP, SP, reviving items out of it? Yes, so basically the benefits of the Joker's Kitchen is that you can, as I mentioned earlier, you can make curry or coffee to make healing items. But in fact, the one of the coolest thing is while you're traveling through Japan, you're getting more recipes for new items to cook, which is one of the coolest things because, Joker, he cooked and he learned from the best. He learned from Sojiro. So now he learns more items, more. So for example, one of the things you can get early on is a beef stew that you can also cook whenever you go to the second city, besides Tokyo, the next city after that, Sendai, and you actually get 2 separate recipes that you can buy there. You can actually go to the market and buy a bunch of ingredients. I kept on actually love that mechanic quite a bit, where I kept going back and forth to buy more items to cook more. It's honestly super fun cooking, and SP is required in the game. The game, you can burn through SP really fast, so I do advise you to follow up and continue cooking. It is a pretty good idea to do that. So we're gonna go ahead and answer some of the questions from Google. This one says, is Kasumi in Persona 5 Strikers? So she's not. Whenever you do her confidence, she does mention that she's gonna be out of the country to do some kind of gymnastics contest kind of thing. So she's doing that while you are in here. That's the answer for that. What is the difference between Persona 5 and Persona 5 Strikers? That's actually pretty good questions. So the question is pertaining to that. Persona 5 Strikers is a hack and slash role-playing game, so there's a lot of stuff that was done from the Warriors games, which is pretty interesting. The Warriors games turned to be more hack and slash. However, this game has a lot of role-playing elements. obviously Persona 5. So there's a lot of Persona 5 into the game when it comes to mechanics, like you're hitting weaknesses, you're using items in battle, you are using the personas, of course, and the persona has their own attacks, elemental attacks, that kind of stuff. Everything that you know from Persona is here in some kind of shape or form. It just really depends. And I guess another question here is Persona 5 okay for 13-year-old? I personally think it's fine. Persona 5 Strikers is even more easygoing than Persona 5. I would say it's like the much more fun version, so to speak. So I personally think it is. Anyway, that is pretty much enough here. Let me know in the comments below again if you have any other questions, and if you have anything else, again, let me know. I have played plenty of the games, so I can assist you with some of these questions. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this, and I'll see you guys next time.